Hello, everyone, and welcome to SMY Podcast, episode 10. Yes, we've come this far from our first episode until the 10th episode. It's nice how we inspire younger generations to listen to our podcast and to gain knowledge and to gain information from them. And this is what we like to do. Another thing is balancing our school and podcast schedules. It has been hard, and we managed to somehow balance it. Take it on right now.
Yes. The 10th episode, wow, it's a big achievement. I thought I'd fit in the middle, but somehow I managed to pull through. Now, for today's episode, the title is going to be Investing. And for that title, we have brought in some special guests from Investoronomics Ltd, which is a educational platform on social media, which helps people learn about financial awareness. So, to our special guests, would you please introduce yourselves?
Hey guys, I'm Lavanya, and this is...
Hi guys, I'm Reno.
And together we founded Investoronomics. And Investoronomics has been around for close to a year now. And we created it as a means to kind of create financial awareness, because in Malaysia, financial literacy or money it's an adult topic, and we usually don't speak about it since young. And we thought that, hey, money can be cool for millennials and Gen Z too. People really want to know. And we really think that it's really important to improve the overall financial health of the Malaysian adults. And you should always start young.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys, for having us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Always welcome. Yeah, we're always welcome. Now, we have some burning questions that we'd like to ask our special guest over here. Do you not mind?
We're looking forward to it.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Now, allow me to ask the first question, and that is, what is the simplest possible way of defining investing?
So investing is basically making more money.
Yeah. And I think adding on to what Renu just mentioned is that my personal story about how I learned about investment was that when I was young, at about 9 or 10 years old, my dad gave me this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And it's because I asked my dad for like some donation money. And then he said, if you want more money, you've got to learn to make your own money. And after reading this book, I learned about active income and passive income. It's very common that as kids we're told that, oh, you need to make more money. But the concept of active and passive income really changed the way that I looked at investing and earning money. So active income is pretty straightforward. You work a job, you spend some time, you put in some effort, and then you make money that you work for. Passive income is pretty much making money while you sleep, which means you put your money in an investment, and while you're off to bed at night, it accumulates interest and grows by the night, by the minute, hour, or day, and years.
Yes. What are the some types of investments? What are the types?
I think this question we have to put it back to you. What are some of the investment types that you know
of? I know about real estate.
Definitely a twist.
Yeah, I know real estate.
Real estate. What else?
Stock market. That's about it.
Cryptocurrency.
Okay, cool. I think that's pretty good for your age, guys. A lot of people don't know these options, like even when they're in school.
Yeah.
And usually on our platform, we usually divide different types of investment into asset classes versus going into different products. Like what you named are like different products. But overall, investments comes in different asset classes.
In total, there's 6.
Yeah. There were 6 asset classes: real estate, commodities, fixed income, bonds, equities, and collectibles. Yep. So I'll just give you some examples. Like you've probably seen a lot of rich people buying like expensive, exorbitantly priced paintings and put it in their house, right?
Yeah.
Or some collector's item that you probably will be like, why on earth would someone buy this? But imagine this: you buy $1 million painting, you hang it on your wall, and then it becomes a rare piece. You buy it $1 million, you sleep for 5 years, 10 years, and the next thing you know, it's worth $10 million. Right?
Yeah.
So that's literally making money while you sleep. Another one is, for example, commodities. You have gold, you have silver, and you have oil, right? So one example is where a lot of people buy gold jewelry, right? And Renu, what was gold price like 20 years ago?
Oh, it went up. 20 years ago it was 80 ringgit, and now it's about 245. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, and it's probably something that, you know,
Wow,
you
what
just
a
bought as a
drastic increase.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so people usually buy it for like decorative purposes, you know, just to like wear to events and whatnot. And the next thing you know, it's gone up like 300%. Yeah. So it's pretty much making passive money, right? Money while you sleep.
Mhm. So basically, what it is that your money makes money.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Your money works for you.
Yes.
You work
Yeah.
for your money 9 to 5. So let your money work for you from the remaining hours while you sleep and eat and shower and all
Right.
that.
Treat
Sounds
money
great,
as,
doesn't it?
treat money as your
Yeah.
servant.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Right. Let me move on to the third question, and that is, what are the differences between the bull and bear markets? Because I follow a lot of pages that give financial advice, financial gurus, and all that. And they always talk about these two markets. So I always get confused as to what they mean and what they are. And a lot of people tell me on those Instagram pages that you can make money from both. So could you please explain
Alright.
what are the differences
Sure
and
thing.
how do we earn money from those? What is the
All right.
process?
So the layman term of it is, so the bull market is your market is doing good. As well, for the bear market, your market is doing bad. So bull market, you'll see green signs going up. Bear market, you'll see red signs going down.
Yeah, that's pretty much, you know, the simple
Yeah.
way of putting it. Yeah.
So if you go to like places like Bursa Malaysia or the New York Stock Exchange, you always see this symbol, the bull symbol. So that
yeah,
means your
yeah.
market is doing so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want that
Everyone-
prosperity.
Yeah. Everyone wants a bull market, but yes, you don't want to buy in a bull market. You want to sell in a bull market. You want to buy in a bear market.
Yes.
So
Yes,
you want to
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
You want to buy
Yeah.
cheap and then you sell when it's going up.
Buy low, sell high. Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, there are a lot of people who challenge that philosophy. You know, if you hold it in the long term, instead of selling it, then you make fixed income for it. You earn from dividend. You know, the companies that you invest do well.
Mhm.
You know, the assets that you invest in do well, and then in the long term, you benefit from it.
I see.
So moving on to the next questions. Many people really get confused with this, which is, what are some common misconceptions about investing?
We love that question. Investonomics is all about that. So the common myths are basically investing is expensive.
Oh my God,
Okay.
you read my mind.
Yeah.
Literally.
So do
Yeah.
you know, guys, you can invest with 1 ringgit. Take that 1 ringgit out of your pocket right now and go and invest it. You know, it's as cheap as that. You know, you can start with 1 ringgit. There are many platforms now available online to actually invest for as low as 1 ringgit. Then every
Yeah.
month you just top up and top up, guys. It's all about consistency.
Yeah.
So one is being that it's too expensive, one
Yeah.
of the myth, and
Yes.
then
I think another myth is that investing is risky.
true.
It's very, very risky. Like people always think like, oh, investing is like, you know, for people who are like extremely aware of what investment products are, like financial whiz and geniuses, but it's actually not further from the truth. Like nowadays, like what Rita mentioned, there are a lot of platforms, there are a
Yeah.
lot of avenues available for, even if you're in high school, you can start investing.
Yeah.
You can buy investment products, and there are a lot of different types of risks associated to different investment products,
Correct.
right? Even going in and opening a bank account and asking them to, you know, open an extra FD account is a type of investment for you,
Correct.
you know, and that's capital guaranteed.
Yes, keeping your
Right.
money without any form of investment in your saving account is more risky, guys.
Yeah. Because
It
you
doesn't grow.
Yeah, you lose money
Oh,
just
yeah,
by
yeah.
inflation rate. Right. So
Time
every
is money,
year,
money.
like you see, for an example, right? Like I think Starbucks is a good example, or
Okay.
even McDonald's, right? Or even in school, you know, the nasi lemak that you buy in canteen.
Yeah.
Probably in primary school, like when I was in primary school, nasi lemak
50
cost like
cents?
50 cents.
Yeah. How much
And-
is it now?
250, 3
Last I
ringgit.
remember, it was 1 ringgit for the basic packet, and then if you
Yeah.
wanted to add anything, you added on 50 cents or 20 cents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But if imagine that same 50 cents, if you kept it in your savings account, it's probably still 50 cents now.
Oh, wow.
But everything around you has gotten more expensive.
Never thought about it that way, actually.
Yeah, considering the inflation rates, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Right.
So I guess inflation is kind of a way to say that the cost and the living expenses of everything around you increases. and your money will still remain the same value. So you want to invest at least at the rate at which prices of things are increasing.
Yes, that is why research is very important in assessing your risk.
Yeah.
So the two types of myth, I would say that investing is pricey and investing is too risky.
Yeah.
Which is not true, guys.
Yeah. And I think ignorance is probably more costly than investing.
Yes.
Right? Not knowing and really getting into like the habit of like spending too much money on stuff that you can't afford, or just leaving your money in the bank and not realizing that you're losing money for inflation. Right? Imagine the thing about like a painting, right? Imagine if you could buy a painting for 1 ringgit and then 10 years later it's going to become 10 ringgit.
Yeah.
Right?
In their concept, it's probably Yeezys and all that as well,
Yeah. So even gold, right? You can buy for 1 ringgit. There are apps that can do that. I'm not sure if you've heard of Hello Gold. If you go to our platform, you can definitely check that out.
Correct.
We have a whole bunch of platforms that we have for examples that you guys can refer to.
We also have promo codes. Do check it out.
Yes. All right. Now, moving on to the next questions. What are some good books to read and movies to watch to learn about investing?
Lavnia's favorite topic.
I think for me personally, anyone who's starting out, I would say start with Rich Dad Poor Dad, because it's a very easy read. And I know money is a very daunting subject for a lot of people. And not everybody likes to read. And that book is like, I read it when I was in primary school. So I would say it's a very easy read. And it's something that people can easily understand. It's like in a story.
A lot of diagrams.
Yeah, lots of diagrams. And it's very, very interactive. It's very understandable, digestible. And it teaches you the basic concepts to give you the kind of mindset. Because I think mindset is probably the most important thing when it comes to managing your money.
So actually, I have this Rich Dad Poor Dad book at home, but I still don't have the will to read it. But I think after listening to this advice from y'all, maybe I'll start reading it today.
Yes, you should. And I've had this question, this recent debate that I had with a friend. It said, what are good financial books to read? And people should read more. But I think at the end of it, we came to this conclusion. We were talking about how technology has made a lot of things much easier for us. And if you're not the kind of person who likes to read, you could just go listen to an audiobook. You could listen to a podcast. You could you could watch a YouTube video, depending on what attracts you. The knowledge is more important than the method that you choose, right? So as long as you have the will to kind of improve your financial habits, to improve your financial literacy, then I think whatever method that works best, you choose that.
Yes, wise words spoken.
Thanks for the good answer. It was an amazing answer, actually. Now, moving on to the next question. Mano, it's your turn.
So is the stock market, as I was saying, stock market, right? Is it really the future? Because there are so many people investing and gaining a lot, but at the same time, people are also losing out. So what are your thoughts on this matter?
So as I think we mentioned earlier, asset classes, investment has a broad range of products and stuff that you can invest in. But I think the more popular things are like the stock market, mainly because almost every company that you buy stuff from is in the stock market, right? So I guess that's a more popular one. Is it the future? It is the present. It has been the past. So I guess as long as businesses and there are companies trying to create new products and services and solutions, the stock market will always exist, right? Because they need money. So just a quick explanation, layman terms, how the stock market works, right? For an example, Microsoft wants to do research and development. Microsoft wants to expand. They need to hire people to be able to do the R&D work to create new products. So they don't have the money, so they go on to the stock market and then they raise funds. So people like you and me will buy shares, stocks, or equities, you call it, of Microsoft. So Microsoft says, if you buy 10 ringgit of the company, so basically you're giving the money to Microsoft to go and do whatever they need to do. And then they say, if I make a profit, I will give you that percentage as dividend. And as the company grows in value, now they have better products, better services, more revenue, more profits, right? The company grows in value and assets. Your 10 ringgit will now be valued at 100 ringgit.
I see.
Right? So, but you will still obviously get the same percentage of dividend regularly as well. So I think that is the concept of how the stock market works as in simple terms, right? So some people think that it's a great way to invest because, for an example, if I own a whole bunch of Microsoft products, that's literally like I own a stake in Microsoft. I'm literally buying a product from my company. The
I'm a
company,
boss.
yeah. I mean, as opposed to buying Apple, I might as well buy with Microsoft, because if Microsoft makes money, I make money.
I've always looked at the stock market as the loudest investment.
Yeah.
Many people collectively do it. That's why a lot of you hear more about stock markets as opposed to commodities and
Yes,
collectibles.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
ads going on in YouTube, invest in this, you get this much return, and then they show, they show proofs of, this guy who invested this and got a return of this much. It's something like this. I was curious on that question, actually.
Yes, but yes, that's good, Manu. That's good that you learn, read newspapers and all that at this age.
Yeah. And I think I always say, there is no one best type of investment. It really depends on what you personally like,
Correct.
what you personally understand, and what fits your risk level, right? For some people, that could be property, right? For some people, they probably don't understand the stock market at all, and they're like, I understand property.
Yeah.
I understand how to manage a house, and it's convenient and it's easy for me. I don't like reading financial reports, right? Or for some people, it could be like, I understand gold, I understand paintings, right? Whereas for a layman, when they see a painting, they would not be able to kind of like distinguish between an art piece that is valuable versus an art piece that is, something that you get off the street, right? So it really depends on the person, what your preferences are. Of course, anybody who's selling you an art piece will be like, art is the best thing to invest in. Someone is telling you stocks, they're going to be like, yeah, stocks is the best thing ever. That's where you're going to make the most money. And anybody who's selling it will say that's the best. I mean, they also bias because that is something that they understand, right?
Yes.
If I say I understand it, then that's probably the thing that I believe everybody else will find easy as well.
Yeah. Also, how much risk you are willing to take. Shares, as you said, Mano, it's very risky. It's so volatile, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you want to do collectibles, but oh dear, you have so many children that might mess up your paintings with their fingerprint. So you don't want to do that. So you could just do a simple FD. Just go change your savings money, put it into an FD, and get about 1.8% every per annum.
Or you could get a high interest savings account, money market fund, as an alternative to FD, which pays about 2.4%. Right? Yeah. So I guess it's really just the effort of kind of just Googling stuff and kind of understanding what are some decisions that you can make better, what are the better options available for you, and then making a more informed decision. Even in stocks, there are way many different types of stocks you can buy. You can buy like exchange traded funds. You can buy it in unit trusts. You can buy it in mutual funds. You can buy like only a certain sector. You can buy a certain type of growth. You can choose long-term, short-term strategies. So it really depends. There's so many different things.
I think we've given you a lot of keywords to actually research tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'll be doing a lot of research myself. Now,
That's great.
that was a wonderful explanation. Now, moving on to the next question. What are some of the biggest risks and mistakes that you will come across and you will try to avoid when investing?
Arrogance. Ignorance, sorry. So, I guess it's the research, going back to the research. So you really have to do your research on what platforms that you want to use. I get it that we're talking about go on Google it up, find it, but it could be as simple as asking your parents. They would know better. You could ask them like, so guys, what do you think about, how did you start investing? How did you make money? Then they will tell you, oh, I just put my money into fixed deposit and all that, because, it depends on how much risk they are willing to take. So it really depends on your effort and your commitment in putting that time and effort for you to actually do research on it. That can reduce your risk by itself. Yeah. Apart from that, other mistakes that were made.
I think another mistake is not checking regularly.
Yes. Stock market. Yes.
I think not just when it comes to the stock market, right? Like
your income and your expense.
Yeah, even your income and your expense, your financial habits. Like, I think create a regular routine of checking your finances. I mean, like I always put it this way, brushing your teeth once a year doesn't make a difference, right? I mean, you would know how your teeth would be, right? If you brush your teeth once a year, right? But if you brush it, you have to brush it every single day for it to look and be good and healthy.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it really comes down to creating a routine where you do something consistently. The consistency of the little effort makes more of a difference than doing it once a year.
Yeah, because we can go tell people, make sure you invest, make sure you invest.
Yeah.
But they're gonna look at you and be like, invest with what money? You know, most people don't know their net worth, how much they're actually worth, their income minus their expense. They're not really they don't really know because it's not on paper. You know, I know you know how much salary you get. Let's just say you get 1,000 ringgit and you spend 500 on your rental, 100 on your utility. So it's a mental calculation, but it's really important to put it on paper and check in every month. Yeah.
At least every month, you know. I mean, if you want to be the person who checks every day, then go ahead, you know. But I think just even for students, right? For an example, if your parents give you like a 5 ringgit allowance per week, right? You can always keep a mental note. You might think that I keep a mental note, but having the habit of kind of writing it down, typing it out, calculating it, and then seeing that, oh, at the end of every month, I actually spend this much and I save this much. Just having the habit of thinking about it. How much do I spend? How much do I save? Right? And can I reduce my spendings? Can I increase my savings? And what can I do with the savings? So these type of questions, as and when you start asking them, little by little, even when you're in school, then it shapes this type of thinking that even when you get older, whenever you get money, you start thinking that, how much can I save out of this? How much am I going to spend out of this? And what am I going to do with the difference?
Yeah, I'd be surprised when you note it down, right? You get rather competitive. Meaning if you save like 70% this month, you would want to save higher the next month. You would feel really bad if you save any lesser, you know. So it gets you thinking and competitive in that terms. Other mistakes that we have made. Oh, I like we have done a few IGTVs with entrepreneurs, and many of them have come up with this mistake whereby subscribing to emails, sales emails. You know, yes.
All these ads and
you know, like Shopee 99 sale, and you'll be surprised if you check the prices on different times. It's almost similar. It could be higher during the sales times, you know. So do not subscribe to unnecessary emails. I know you want that 10% discount when you buy it first. Unsubscribe it later. You know.
Some of it might be bots.
Be aware of your spendings. Never link your credit cards to your apps, you know, like Grab especially. It's so toxic.
Yeah, especially if you're the kind that likes to spend, and you know, like I think recording things down helps you know whether you're spending kind or the saving kind.
Correct.
Right? If you're the spending kind, then probably putting your credit card, even getting a credit card in the first place, is a dangerous thing for you. Right? If you're the saving kind, then maybe linking something and you like, you know, occasionally buying stuff will help you. So really, I think there's no one size fits all answer for everyone. And I think that as going back to, you know, ignorance, if you are really aware of where you are, what your personal financial habits are, where you want to start improving, then it becomes really easy.
You take control of your finances better.
Yeah.
Thanks for the wonderful explanation.
Yes, that was so good. So so the final
sorry to interrupt. Mano, could you please ask the last question? Please do the honors.
Yes, the final question.
It's over?
The final questions that I would like to ask is, what is the proper mindset of a wealthy investor? What is the proper mindset?
Proper mindset of
like how do you tune your mind towards being a good investor, and how do you tune a mind? How do you?
I like this question. Okay, so I guess it's about goal setting. So we talked about a lot about risk and all that. So the main thing is, guys, setting your financial goals. How much do you want to achieve within a certain amount of time? So have a 5-year goal, have a 10-year goal. Maybe for the 5 years, you want to make sure your bank account has a 5-digit figure. Maybe 10 years, you want to buy a house. You know, so once you have that kind of goals, you would try to build an action plan. Do you need 2 jobs? Do you need 1 job? You know, those kind of things. So having goals.
Yeah, like short-term, mid-term, long-term.
Yeah, that's a good mindset. You know, get thinking. What do you want in life? What do you want to do? Then from your goals, you move on to setting a budget. Every month, set a budget. You know, you have to be very conscious about what you spend. Do not spend money that you don't have. I hate credit cards.
I love credit cards on the other side. we have different problems. So I guess like writing on what you said, for me personally, purpose is very important when it comes to financial stuff. You could get stuck in two ends of the spectrum where you're like, I want to save 100%, I want to make money, I want to make more money, and then you become like completely money minded, and everything becomes like a calculation, like, oh, I'm not going to eat out, I'm not going to spend time, I'm not going to go out with my friends, it's going to cost me money. Or you're going to end up on the other end of the spectrum, like, oh, I need to make more money, or like school money, right?
And like
I'm gonna,
overwork yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to do
yeah,
that.
or you're just gonna go out and spend and buy whatever, YOLO and whatnot. So I guess you don't want to end up in like an extreme end, but having a purpose helps you prioritize and really understand what financial freedom means to you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like for me personally, it's like traveling,
She
I
loves
want to
traveling.
experience new things. So that will always be on top of my priority. And that's like my big thing that I want to save towards. And everything else, like, on days that I don't feel like working, on days that I don't feel like, saving money, then that purpose helps guide me to, follow my financial plans. What about you? What's your purpose?
So my purpose is probably to be financially free, to ensure that by the age of 30, I have a house and I'm sitting comfortably in my home with less debts, guys. Nobody likes debts. I can't just say I hate debts, So I don't like loans. I don't like credit cards because I want to be secure. So I don't mind having loans as long as I have the backup money to pay it if anything happens. If I lose my job, I have emergency funds, those kind of concepts. So mine is basically to just be financial free. On top of that, I would like to just travel with her and probably get coffee in every different country. Love coffee. Guys. Yeah, so it's very important to have a purpose.
Yeah.
And have your goals set out,
Purpose and goals. Yeah.
Yeah, I took my goals very, very lightly, I used to be like, oh, people have to set goals. Okay, as long as I wake up tomorrow, that's my goal for today. No, it's not. No. You got to sit down, spend an hour on yourself. That's self-care. That's self-care financially. You're noting down what do you want to achieve in life. Guys, write it down and you will see it somehow
happening.
Yeah.
Manifesting.
Yes, manifesting. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Right. That was a very good answer, and unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this session.
We could have gone on and on, but all good things come to an end, right?
Yeah, right. So that's all for the 10th episode of SMI Podcast. This is Yash and Mano signing off and saying
thank you, guys.
goodbye to our guests.
Bye-bye. Peace out.